The most emotional thing for me was my daughter's wedding at the end of August. And I struggled to have a wedding dance with her. I had bilateral knees done, so there's no question it was the best decision I ever could have made. Don't put it off.
So we were like, well, maybe we could have done it sooner. And so it's 9 weeks today.
9 weeks today.
Since
yeah.
we had this, you had the surgery.
So I literally had 5 hours of physio a day. I tell you what V did to me once. It was pretty funny.
Oh, this was good.
I'm Dr. Morgan. I'm a chiropractor here in Calgary, Alberta, and I've been in practice for over 30 years. And my knees decided to give out on me, both of them. It's it's week 9 today, and I am feeling absolutely phenomenal. By week 4, I was actually back at work working part-time. And then for a week or two, and then now I'm working full-time, so I'm on my feet all day. So I'm really, really happy. Basically, at this week 9, I can do anything.
Yeah, so I'm Brenda Morgan, Chris's wife, and as far as Chris and his knees, now you see, I thought you were going to talk more. He had done karate for many years, and his right knee went on him initially, and then we were on the wait list to get the knee surgery. And because it had taken so long, it had started to affect his left knee and his ability to work and to enjoy life and all the activities that we normally would do. And so
it was unfortunate, and I enjoy my work, and I'm going to continue to work now. If I hadn't had the surgery, if I hadn't had the surgery, I wouldn't be working now. I would have been out of business and shut down the doors, and that would be it. So that's one thing that kind of was a real persuade to go to Lithuania. One of the reasons, it was just too long a wait here, and there's no way that I would have been able to practice. I think the final straw was when we were at, we'd already had a plan to go there, but the most emotional thing for me was my daughter's wedding at the end of August. And I struggled to have a wedding dance with her. And people could just see the pain that I was in. And then about 5 days later, I was in Lithuania and had my knees done, and it's uphill from there. Totally, it's just been a phenomenal experience for me.
And so it's 9 weeks today.
9 weeks today.
Since
yeah.
we had this, you had the surgery.
There's a lot of aspects that just amaze me about the place. When you got there, the organization was just unbelievable from Calgary to there and back. Everything was taken care of that we could possibly imagine. And some of the things that impressed me was talking to the surgeon. I mean, originally we were going to talk to him that morning on the Thursday morning, and we are going to have the surgery that afternoon. And I got there and was talking to him. He says, "Come into the room," and the whole staff was ready to do the surgery at that particular point. And he said, "Hey, just lay on your side for a second here, and we'll put an epidural in you." And 3.5 hours later, I wake up and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I fall asleep?" "Yeah, I did, but the surgery was all done." And he spoke to me very logically, and just so impressed with his demeanor and his abilities and skills. And then it just went uphill from there. I just looked around. I have a medical background, obviously. I looked around at the sanitation, the sterilization techniques there, looking at everything. I used the expression, I could have eaten off the floor, because that's how clean that place was. Looking at, and right after the surgery, there's someone there 24/7 if I needed them. Moved to a private room after that, and you could push the button to have a nurse come, and literally within 30 seconds, they were there. There was no big long wait, just compared to some of the issues. I'm not trying to slam the Canadian system or anything like that, but it was just night and day between the two of them. And then we can talk about food. Oh my goodness. The food was phenomenal. It was like a 5-star restaurant. And then we can get into the rehab, which is seriously one of the biggest reasons I made the decision to go there. We could have gone down to Kalispell, Montana, and we looked at the pricing there. And to me, it wasn't so much about the pricing, even though it was expensive, and the same as going to Toronto or to Vancouver, is after the surgery, they release you the day after, and then it's up to you to go and find your own therapy and pay for your own therapy. And that can get quite expensive. It was 10 days of physio that I really wanted to get, and I knew the intensity of what the physio would be like. Thought I knew it was going to be like until you meet V, and then he shows you what it's going to be like. I know different people whether they go for a hip or a knee, and I had bilateral knees done. So his philosophy was, well, you have two knees, you have twice the amount of physio. So I literally had 5 hours of physio a day, and it wasn't like they did something and then came back an hour later. No, V, I don't know if you know V, touched his watch, 3 minutes later, next one, next one, next one. And there were days I wasn't sure that I was going to make it through, but I did. And each day you could see an improvement. So by the time I left, I was able to go up and down stairs, without any problem, get into a car very easily, walk short distance without any type of crutches, something like that. So I knew I was in the right hands, and I've been able to continue with a lot of that myself just because of my own experience. So I guess what I'm saying is the physio needs to be done. It's hard, but it's done so well there, and you can just see the improvement. And it's just, any surgery is difficult. You have to work at it. You're just not going to go there and be sugar-coated and come home and everything's going to be great. So you have to work at it, and you have to work when you get home. But they give you the tools to be able to do that. I did have a few thoughts like that, with my knowledge of in the system. I knew that a lot of European nations are doing phenomenal surgeries and work, and there's an incentive to go there. I knew that a lot of British people had been going over there for years to get hips and knees done. So I think I felt I wasn't afraid of going in the least. With the orthopedic surgeon that referred us there, I had known him for quite a while and had great confidence in him. And I know he'd gone there and checked it out, and he said it was just an absolutely phenomenal place to go. So I felt when I went there, I had no fears, trepidations whatsoever of going.
But what he's forgetting is initially he really, really wanted to go to Kalispell because, it's a place we know the surgeon there as well.
Yeah.
And it would have been great.
Easy,
Easy. But it was the whole package that Marius had provided for us that really told us that was the better decision.
And there is no rehab in a lot of these private places after, I've mentioned before. So provided I knew I was going to get it, and I got it. And that was the big one at the very end for me, was the rehab. Maybe a lot of people wouldn't understand that, but that's the reason I went. People wouldn't realize this. First thing they come in the morning, and they're giving you, okay, you need this medication, very good. This for blood thinners, right? And then this is a probiotic. I'm looking at it, he says, oh, that's because we gave you antibiotics yesterday. We want to re-inoculate your system. He says, yeah, I know. We actually brought ours from Canada ourselves because I knew this would happen. And she was quite surprised that you would never get a probiotic given to you in a hospital in North America. That does not occur here.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we know that's really good for you, but they wouldn't do that here. So that was like, okay, you guys are thinking outside the box. Well, it's quality of life and not putting it off. The longer you have, let's say for knee example, if you have a bad knee and you keep putting it off and putting it off, that's going to affect the rest of your body. And it's not long before, if you wait 3 years to have a knee done, quality of life's gone downhill. Your body's going to adapt to the point where a few years later, you're going to be having your hips done because they're damaged by doing that. I can understand why some people are afraid to get surgery, and that's quite understandable. Usually it's pain that drives them to the final decision. But by the time you've got that much pain, there's a lot of other damage being done in compensation.
And that's what happened to you. That's why you ended up with two knees instead of one.
My left knee totally gave out, and because I've been using it so much, favoring my right one. So I think it's quality of life. It's and you will get a call from Alberta Healthcare eventually. The protocol is you'll be put on a list, and basically a year later you'll get a phone call and say, oh yes, the surgeon wants to look at this is what happened with us. Your surgeon wants to look at your knees, and I thought, hey, this is really exciting. This is one day after we got back from Lithuania, we got the phone call. And I just asked, is this the one that's going to do the surgery, or is this the one that's going to tell me a year and a half from now I'll meet a surgeon? And they said, yes, it's a year and a half from now. So there's no way. I was at that point. Just prior to that, I wouldn't have been working. So there's no question. It was the best decision I ever could have made. Don't put it off. really. It's quality of life. I tell you what V did to me once. It's pretty funny.
Oh, this was good.
He's always making me work hard, and Brenda's talking to him one day, and I was working out, and I stopped, and he stopped. I didn't say he could stop, keep going.
No.
But the funny one.
Oh, okay. He literally turned to him and he said, "Did I say to stop?" It was.
So I asked him if he'd go for a walk outside. He said, "Absolutely. Go down here, go to the back to the parking lot of the hospital, and go right to the far end, and come around and come in the front door." That's a long ways. He said, all the way into the parking lot, you need a swipe card to get out of the parking lot. I didn't have a swipe card. So fortunately, he didn't know this. There was a doctor leaving, so she let me out, and then I could come in. Otherwise, I was going to have to walk all the way back. And he knew that. He knew that.
Oh, so you think you did it on purpose?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
of course he
me?
did.
Of course.
We got on well. He's phenomenal. Yeah.
Really.